Good morning, assuming it's morning where you are. Welcome to the Elders Inspire Awe podcast, where elderhood is understood as the very frontier of human evolution. My name is Myra Tara, and this podcast is brought to you by the Hearers Hermitage and the Sacred Mother Elders Council. Today, we're going to be talking about why the inaugural members of the Sacred Mother Elders Council will be of African heritage. But before we do, it's probably important to talk about the sacred principle of difference. This is a sacred principle, difference. So imagine this. Someone sends you a cake recipe. The cake recipe reads something like this: 2 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon flour, 1 cup sifted flour, 3 tablespoons very fine flour, 1 teaspoon cold flour for sprinkling, 1/3 cup chalky flour, 4 tablespoons coarsely ground flour, and 1 pan dusted flour. Now, imagine your cake. There would be no cake. Not without the synergy of many different ingredients will you get cake. Not similar ingredients, not variations on the same ingredient, but fundamentally different elements. Synergistic difference is why you get cake. The Earth's many different cultures can be likened to the different ingredients of a cake. It is what is different about us that serves human evolution. That which is the same about us serves other purposes. Many of us in the West have yet to value our uniqueness as people of African heritage. Why is that? Because most of us in the West feel unsafe in so many ways: emotionally, socially, physically, psychologically, economically, and probably many more. This constant underlying feeling of unsafety makes being different feel like another handicap. And because most everybody else feels unsafe too, difference is often punished, sometimes intentionally, often unconsciously, instead of welcomed with curiosity. If we all felt safe, the heart would stay open to difference. The mind would stretch to understand it and enjoy it. This is the healthy stance toward each other, because this earth is one exquisite network of synergized differences. The rainforest breathes due to its diversity. The ocean purifies itself due to countless living variations, living together synergistically. Difference is not a flaw in the system. Difference is the system. So before we turn to thinking about the unique gifts of our African heritage, let's first come to appreciate the sacred principle of earthly existence, the sacred principle of difference. It is not an error. It is the method of life. It is the method of evolution. So let me ask you, have you ever thought about our uniqueness as people of African heritage? Can you label some part of it? Do you have a sixth sense of it? For most of my life, I never thought about it. I don't recall a single conversation about this as a child. But the years have clarified some things for me, and the value our people bring is unmistakable. There's probably not much that is truly exclusive to any one culture, but some characteristics are more pronounced in each culture than in others. I'm a retired university professor, and toward the end of my time in academia, I chaired the dissertation of a young Ghanaian mother. Her topic: the social stress Africans feel after relocating to the United States. Her participants were shocked by Western individualism. They had never experienced anything like it. In their experience back home, isolated humans just don't exist. In 2 West African indigenous groups, researchers tried to see if they understood the concept of loneliness. They couldn't grasp it. They had no clue what the researchers were talking about. In Black African culture, a person is a community being. People exist together as part of. Midway through a month-long visit with my daughter in Ghana, my nervous system just started to relax. There was a shared pulse that had started to seep into my bones. Easy laughter, peace. I saw a man on a scooter get hit by a car. A hush fell all around. Everyone within earshot was struck by that car. Men gathered instantly to help, coordinated, silent. A student once told me, Ghana is the first time I was around people who aren't afraid of each other. Think about that. People who aren't afraid of each other. That's a foreign concept here in the West. Another Black woman put it this way, Africa feels good. And countless visitors to the continent have had similar things to say about their experience of being in Africa. In her Architectural Digest tour, Naomi Campbell recalls being told she would return from her first visit to Kenya with her first real smile. She said it was true. There's just something there. It's in the air. It's unforgettable. Our cultural heritage offers many gifts, but I'm just going to share 3 that are relevant for the work of the Sacred Mother Elders Council. The first one is human warmth. Human warmth is the single most important thing that forms loving bonds between people or between people and animals. Warmth, human warmth, not just in childhood, but across the entire lifespan. Human warmth. Human warmth creates the feeling of safety. The feeling of safety creates trust. And trust is at the core of every healthy relationship, every healthy family, and every healthy community. I'm here to tell you, the warmth in our African heritage is gold. And we respect that as we form the Sacred Mother Elders Council. In fact, we are going to take great advantage of that. The second gift is related to the first and also highly significant for the third gift that I'm going to share with you, and that's relational consciousness. Relational consciousness. As I mentioned earlier, the conceptualization of a person is that of a community being and not an isolated entity. That may be hard for us to grasp as Westerners. Time spent together is considered the greatest investment one can make, not just in one's own well-being, but in the well-being of the community. Time spent together. That just makes me feel so good that the sort of value is time spent together, quality time spent together. The third gift is that our relational consciousness reflects quantum reality. There's an emerging energy paradigm, if you haven't noticed, but quantum physics has shown us that all of life is relational, literally connected at the level of energy. So Africans' ways of being have always reflected what physics is only now articulating. There are no separate parts, only relationships. So the first Sacred Mothers Elders Council will be elder mothers of African heritage. This is seed that begins in its own soil. And I'm so excited about it. And then the circle opens wide, of course, to all elders across all cultures. This first formation is not exclusion. It's not meant to exclude. It is just anchoring as we get our footing and shape what we are about to do. So thank you for listening. And if this message resonates with you, please share it. And please share your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about it. And remember, the sacred principle of difference applies to you as well. One of the things at the Sacred Mother Elders Council is something called an incarnation contract. I didn't come up with this word. I can't remember I know where I got it, but I can't remember the name of the author who used this phrase, incarnation contract. And in the coming week, I'll say more about that, but it has to do with a uniqueness that you can only know about as you move into elderhood, as you age past 60 and enter elderhood. Now, aging past 60 does not guarantee elderhood, something I'll say more about too as we go along. We're just getting started, so there's so much to share. But I invite you to begin thinking about your own sacred uniqueness. I'll be talking about your incarnation contract in the next podcast. Thank you again for listening. Be well.